Okay, let's try this once more. We're going to do the virtual live art walk and chat here on Facebook Live. Um, yeah. Uh, Sorry, for all the technical issues that we've had here today. I'm gonna have a restream program that I use to do my streams through computer. In fact, I had the camera here set up and everything, and we were doing well, and then technology. It just kind of kicked everything off the computer and got a little crazy. And yeah, it's just not really cooperating with me today. So I know that, any sort of questions that might come through normally are going to come through the Facebook crowd because it's just where people are these days. Um, at least as far as people that, I know who've known me for a number of years, etc., have been along with this journey. And as I'm even seeing a notification here saying slow connection, it could just be a connection issue because of the room that I'm in. This is the sort of back office area of the home. So if this does keep up, I might try going downstairs. I'm in a townhouse type apartment. I might try going downstairs into the actual, we'll call it studio room area, just because I know the Wi Fi thing is right next to that. So there's no walls to interfere. I like working up here because it's just quieter. But if I'm able to get a good streaming connection for this type of thing, then I'd have to make some adjustments. So, as I was saying here today, this is basically just going to be, chit chat, walk and talk, all that. Anybody has any questions? I believe comments should appear at the bottom. If there's something that, I don't get a chance to answer here, hi, Sunflower. So nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope all is well. Sunflower is such a dear person. But yeah, if there's something that, when I'm covering it here, if you don't get a chance to see it, just shoot me a message, through the chat or whatever. If there's a piece that you actually see that you like, if I don't get a chance to answer your question now, I will get back to it, within the chat there. And, we're just going to kind of kick back and relax and have ourselves a little naming Sunday. I have a good amount of pieces that I've been working on. I'm calling this the spring collection, spring of 2025. To kind of give a little bit of backstory here, I guess it would have been April of 2019 was when I did my first acrylic pour. It was on a vinyl, and at the time that was just kind of a it was a way for me to kind of get over a lot of things that were going on in my life, mentally, deal with a lot of stress, a lot of trauma, and just kind of to experiment, really, at the time. I had this collection of vinyl records that they had become damaged over the years. A lot of them actually had paint damage on them originally, just from where I'd moved them around. They were from my collection, but some others I'd acquired, and they were warped or just damaged. So at the time, it was something where I was looking to figure out a way to use them, and I didn't really have a lot of cash as far as being able to spend on canvases. So I thought that painting on vinyl records was going to be a good thing for me. I'd seen a couple of other people who had tried it out. Hi, Angela. So nice to see you on here. Thank you for tuning in. Wow. So, anyway, it's 2019. It's actually when I met Angela. It's kind of funny. I think it was 2019 when I met you. It's 2018 actually when I went and saw Sunflower. We met a couple of years before. Um, and I actually, when I made this first one's right before going to see Sunflower. Don't know in the timeline on Angela. I want to say it was 2018, but I want to say it was like summer of that year when we met, spring or summer, but probably around this time. But yeah, I just, I had this sort of notion of painting on the records. I had been doing just some kind of fun art before. I'll say fun for me, in the fact that it was um, acrylics or watercolors, a lot of scenics like beach scenes, really kind of simple stuff. If you check my stories out later today, you're going to see a really fun watercolor that I did actually started last night, finished it today, and it's just of a cat. Real kind of fun thing. And at the time before, I really just thought of art as being fun and simple, and great for mental health, of course. And that was really kind of why I wanted to originally get into doing it. Um, and I thought the abstract world was just kind of this crazy thing over there that I'd never really have anything involved in until just this one day, I figured out a way to kind of make some things click together. And I always liked abstract art, but never really thought about making it myself. So, it kind of became a fun thing to do at that time. And now I'm at this point where I'm able to, make a good amount of it, share it with people, share it with everyone on a regular, somewhat regular basis, be able to share this art out. Very fortunate for everyone who has, you know, helped out with this, timeline, been a part of this artistic journey, shown support in any way. If I've had friends who've donated supplies in where I could buy, more canvases, more paints. Um, I can't thank those people enough. I've had people who have purchased the art, it's hanging on their walls, examples, watching. Again, can't thank these people enough, just leaving comments, hi, Dorian, hi, so nice to, thank you for tuning in, so nice to see you. Even just leaving positive comments, even just, hey, I really like that. One of the greatest things for me, I remember, was I went and visited with my younger brother Kevin after a few years. This was, I want to say, last year. And the first thing that he said to me was, "I like your art," and I was just kind of like, "Thank you," Um, so yeah, it's any sort of positivity, is welcome and appreciated. Shares and comments and likes, all that sort of stuff. It's fun. So and like I said, that was 2019 when I first started it. 2020 was when I first really started sharing. We did a spring collection that year, and it went over very well. And I've usually been trying to do some sort of a spring release each year, just to kind of, hey, it's spring, let's get stuff out. This year's spring, I did some videos actually on the beach with them originally last month, for my birthday. Um, there's that list coming up, birthday and breakfast. So I did the "You made me a record. I use it for my bathroom. I kept it in good condition until this year." Maybe I'll have to get you another one to replace that one. So as I was saying, like this year's collection, I remember him too. This year's collection, I put it out last month around my birthday time. And normally, I go through this whole process of, okay, well, you can see it, and here are the names, and here's everything, and boom, boom, pow, and let's get everything going. And I'll admit that this year has been kind of rough. Um, it really has been. So I haven't gotten to things, as I've wanted to. Um, it's been kind of, topsy turvy turmoil, and some days, I'm still up before the crack of dawn, and getting my stretch in and getting my walk in, and that's kind of changed up a little bit for me right now as far as the stretch and walk. Um, a little bit of it before was that I was able to walk, go to the gym, walk back, stretch, have like a decent little walk in between all of that, decent sized stretch. And now it's kind of, condensed a little bit, on the stretching and the walking and not getting as much gym time in. Which, I can figure it all out. I do have some, weekends and evenings and all that also. But I am kind of, it just becomes a little bit of a thing there when your schedule changes. Meals have just, a little bit of a thing when your schedule changes on that also, as we all know. So I'm starting to notice that and wanting to get myself kind of in, with a lot of things there. Noticing, just feeling kind of off, feeling kind of off mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you know. So things aren't really getting done, I guess is whatever. Point being that we have some records to name. As you can see here, these are all the backs of the records. Nicole, hi, for tuning in. So nice to see you. Thank you. I didn't mean to tap that, but yeah, thank you. But yeah, as you can kind of see, we got records with the backs of them. And normally you guys see the fronts, but you don't see anything on the back. You see like a little label. Where I have, a big thing of labels here and I stick them on the back and, we have names for them. So what I'm thinking here today is that, we can all come in together and we'll have like a big naming party, so if there's something that kind of strikes out to you, and some of these I can already look at them and I can be like, hey, this is what I was kind of feeling, I'm pretty sure I already know of one where I can look at it and be like, yep, that's the name. What do we have here? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13. 13! Mark, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Wow, this is like a party. This is great. So, as I was saying here, I got 13 of these bad boys, and you guys are going to hopefully help me name them. This is the first one here, since I keep picking it up. Yeah, it's the first one here. And with this here, I did a swing method on this. Was this November? For some reason that like November's calling me right now with this here. When I was doing the swings. Possibly October though. I'd have to ask really the videos to see, because normally I try to post the video within that month of making it, just so I can kind of remember when I made it, especially if I have to go back and watch it, afterwards. But yeah, came from the Swing series. It's kind of like a tree explosion type of thing, or a flowery explosion, especially when I'm holding it this way, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna probably put a number 1 on the sticker on this. I'm gonna go ahead and open up my sticker thing so I can take out some stickers. And like I say here, if somebody comes up with a really cool name, feel free to just shout it out in the comments. Like I say, that's pretty much what happens whenever I do name these. Um, so if you have a good name idea, and like I say, if I don't come back to this one right now, I'm more than willing to come back to it later on. If somebody has something for it, if you do watch, or you do watch the recording later and you're like, that would be great as strawberry surprise explosion of tree stuff. There's no strawberries in this, but yeah, tell me in the comments what you think. Help me out a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna put like a little 1 right here. I'm putting a little 1 up here you can kind of see. So if you do happen to notice record number one and you have to think of a name for it, then you can let me know. If you're just tuning in, I've been kind of slacking lately, struggling lately, whatever, and I haven't named my records. So we're having a record naming party this afternoon. Let me know of some names that you might have in the comments. It almost looks like there's a face in the tree stump looking up. Yeah, like somewhere up here, like there's like little eyes kind of weirdly, a face kind of here looking up there. Looking up, looking up, looking up, looking up, looking up, looking up. Yeah, looking up. Yeah, looking up. I don't know, looking up. I'm just gonna write looking up on it right now. But if we find out something better, facing the tree, something, facing a tree, that might be something also. Um, yeah, this is number two, of which I'm gonna put a sticker on there so it's gonna say number two. This was the LaFour record. If anyone remembers me doing this months ago, Weekend TI Trio Edition, Judy something. I don't even know. I can't make it out. Um, yeah, this was the LaFour record. For some reason, I think Spring and Stone Exploding. Ah, you may have just taken care of that one. What did you say here? Perstone Exploding Spring. Yeah. Or what's wait? Okay, Dorian. Just so I'm sure, are you talking about this one? Is the spring? That's cool. Okay, this one's our spring. Perstone explode. Perstone Exploding Spring. Is this one right? This is the one we're thinking here. Perstone Exploding. I'm gonna say Perstone Exploding Spring. Ah, Perstone, the goddess of spring. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna write that on the back of this one here. Like this maybe. Yeah, let's go like this. Yeah, Perstone Exploding Spring, and we're gonna go with that for this one here. So we have one done. Thank you. Should point out, if any of these do actually Irish Spring. This is not my childhood soap. Okay. Oh, number one was the Perstone Exploding Spring. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's actually good to know. So maybe this is my childhood soap. Number one is Perstone Exploding. Oh, please. Oh, please. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now, because if not, then I have a third mic that I can always use. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm just going to turn them both on, and we'll see what happens. Can you hear me now? Let me know. Check 1, 2. If not, then I will definitely turn on. Like I said, I have a third mic. Can you hear me now? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no. Can somebody like thumbs up or thumbs down if they can hear me? I'm gonna keep talking, and as I was saying, so nice to actually be able to see people. Yes, all right, cool. It's so nice to be able to see people, especially ones that you've been around and you've known forever, been supporting of this journey. Um, so thank you all, for tuning in. And yeah, well, maybe we'll go with Irish Spring. Like I was saying, my Irish friend, he would appreciate it. Should he still be around? He was kind of he was an Irishman. Like him that much. Let's switch up here. This one kind of gives me a sun vibe. There's a little bit of a lag. Okay. I don't know if I can fix everything. I'm gonna try for the lag though. We may have to end up, like I said, moving downstairs where I'm closer to the audio Wi-Fi thing, Wi-Fi receiver. But we're gonna try to see what we can get. No, it's good. Okay. So yeah, we got this guy here, and he's kind of giving me a sun vibe. At least, some sort of like sunrise or sunset over water type of vibe here. Like this is the sky and this is the water. Um, the back of the record was a Fats Domino record, Imperial. Um, yeah, it's kind of giving me like a sun vibe or sunlight vibe. I don't know. What do you think? Um, like moon over water, sun over water, you know, sunrise. This is a Jacksonville sunrise. I don't know. Florida sunrise, toxic sunrise. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the news clip lately. There was one I saw today where it was like toxic not toxic algae. What's toxic algae? Toxic seaweed. It's supposed to be up on Florida coast right now. I guess it's normally found on the West Coast, and now this year it's coming to the East Coast. It's like all over. My blue heaven. I love that. Thank you, Mark. My blue heaven. My blue G-A-V-N. All right. My blue psychedelic beach. Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, what are we doing? I'm saving that psychedelic beach. I am saving that psychedelic beach. That psychedelic beach is good. I'm saving that. But my blue heaven, yeah, blue heaven beach. I don't know. Fats Domino. Is that? Is that like a Fats Domino song? Let me know in the comments. Um, this piece here. Oh God. I was a little angry when I made this piece. There's going to be a couple of these that are, from like kind of an angry period. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was originally done in November. And it's a swirl, actually. What I'm doing with these is I'm taking the paints, laying them on, and then I'm taking my swipe tool and I'm starting usually, I think I'm usually starting on the inside and coming out, or on the outside coming in, but it's just like one big continuous sort of swirl that's happening with this here for the swipe. And there's a couple of these, we're going to find that come through with this sort of swirl swipe Um, but yeah, I can say there was a lot of anger, a lot of rage that was going on at this. Well, not really rage, but definitely anger, disappointment, sadness, um, frustration. You know, and it's a lot of the emotions that just grief. I think it's a real big way of putting it. There's a lot of grief going on here. Burning ring of fire. Yeah, it does have kind of a fiery sort of feel to it. Um, I think for me, yeah, grieving ring of fire. I don't know. Like, I just grief really comes up, and fire actually just um, kind of comes up with it also. It's just, yeah, it is really kind of a striking sort of resemblance to that grieving fire, grieving fire, grieving fire. Let's write that on there. Grieving fire. And if there's something else that comes up differently, like I say to the folks, at home watching, leave me your suggestions also. If you end up watching this later, I'll be more than willing to take some from you. So, grieving fire, yeah. Um, grieving ring, grieving ring of fire, grieving ring of fire. Yeah, I'm gonna go grieving ring of fire because, yeah, it is just, yeah, yeah. That's all I can really say about that. Um, my next piece. This is thank you, thank you. As I mentioned before, all of these will be available on the grieving, um, like grief. As I mentioned before, all of these will be available. If anybody sees something that they like. Did someone just ask why am I grieving? There's a lot of reasons really to grieve. You know, for me, the past months, 6 8 months, I've had a couple deaths in my family. Um, you're like the universe for this. Nemo, hi! It's so nice to see you. Know, oh, what time is it over there? Because you are not where I am at right now for 3 in the afternoon, 2 3 in the afternoon. It's gonna be like 3 a.m. where you're at or something crazy. Wow! Thank you for tuning in. We might just go with the universe just because it's you, Universal Nemo. Well, we'll figure it out. But why am I grieving? Yeah, it's what to say. Like I've had some deaths in the family over the past, several months. I've had some relationships that have 9 p.m. Universal 9 p.m. Nice. um, thank you. I love you. Thank you. Yeah, that type of stuff actually puts a smile on my face. I can't even think of why I'm grieving anymore. It's like, oh yeah, I've had some relationships that have kind of changed, ended, over these past few months. We've had just a lot of things happening. So yeah, this was a really good idea actually. Come on and play the name my record thing. For anyone, Nemo, I know you're just turning on. Rosemary, hi. Thanks for tuning in. So nice to see you. For those who are just tuning in, we are playing the game of Name This Painting. I have a bunch of paintings I've been meaning to name. So you guys are just going to shout out, what you see when you look at this, and I'm going to write it on the back, and we're going to make a name out of it. Um, Universal Love. Universal Love. I think what I'm holding this. Yes, Universal Love. This is actually an old Sammy Davis Jr. record. Um, and green is actually the heart chakra color. Things always happen, my friend. Green's actually the heart chakra color, so it's a good color for love. We like to put red there, but red's for something else. Red's more of your grounding. So universal love, I like that. Universal love. Universal love. Universal love. That's what this record's called, and yeah, I think what I was originally going to say for these is I would do free shipping. I know at least I'll do the lower 48, and you know what? We'll just make it free worldwide. I know there's like tariffs happening right now, but whatever. I'm still going to ship it to you. So if you're somewhere not in the lower 48, hit me up and we'll figure out what it costs for me to ship you this record, and we'll basically make that free shipping for you. um, and if you are in the lower 48, we'll figure out what it costs for me to ship you the record also. And anything above shipping would be love for me, and support of what we're doing here artistically. You gotta pay for paint. I pay for the coverings that go in these also, the plastic cover. I usually put a little hanger on the back, or hangers on the back, stickers, all of that. So if you're somewhere in the universe and want some universal love, or one of the other ones, we have, Grieving Ring of Fire. We have Perpetual Exploding Spring. We tentatively have Irish Spring. Name can be changed, And we have My Blue Heaven. So these are the ones that we've named so far. What is this? 5 out of 13. So yeah, let's continue. Woo! Woo! Got some heaters coming. I got some heaters. Heaters. Oh, I got some heaters coming. Yeah. So give me a name for this. What do you think? I'm open to name suggestions for this. I'm open to, rotation suggestions also, but name suggestions. It's kind of funny. I have a bar where it's like right in front of where my face would be. I'm still kind of upset because I spent all this time like getting the camera just perfect, where you'd be able to see me and be able to see what I'm doing, and whatever. Maybe I'll have to see if I can download this and put it on the YouTube for the YouTube audience, because I do like putting stuff on the YouTube. It's more fun. I shouldn't say more fun, but it's YouTube. So it's evergreen versus Facebook, where I'm gonna have to download this and put it on there in order to have it stick around for longer than 30 days. I get it. Yeah, servers, all that. Whew. These also make great fans if it gets hot. So I'm not even sure who made this record. Jamaica, Jamaica. This is on her Jamaica. Yeah, I don't know really what to call this. We can see you. We can see you. You can see me. Could you not see me for a second? We can see you. That was when I scratched my head, so you can see. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to call this record. Somebody help me out. These records do come with little names on the backs of them, where you're just like, yeah, we don't know what to call this, so I'm gonna put a number 3 on this here. No, he said there's a line going through your face that's not visible for us. Oh well, yeah. What I'm saying is, So I have the phone right now on this bar, or not on the bar, on this what do you call those things? Tripod stand and everything. I have it on a tripod, and when I had it just set up on the computer with the nice little super camera and everything, I could see my face. But when I have it on the tripod here to do the Facebook Live, just Facebook Live, because of how the tripod hooked on here, so that I can see your comments. The phone actually has like a little bar on the tripod that cuts right where my face is at. So I can't see my face right now, which is actually good for me because um, I'll be honest, it's kind of like a little weird to like look at your face when you're on camera and you're like, dude, is that something like, I'm having a bad hair day. What's going on with my, So it's actually kind of good for me to have the bar right there. I may look into doing this more often if I do more of these Facebook Lives like this. But at the same time, I don't know if I really want to do Facebook Live. What I was thinking was I want to do YouTube Live. So we'll see. Restream, where I normally do my live streams if I'm using a computer, doesn't have an app. So if you're from Restream and you're watching this, get an app so I can do lives on that. Or maybe you do have an app and I just haven't downloaded it. Maybe that's like you have to pay for the app or something. I don't know. I'm going to put a 3 on here because we haven't named this record yet. So I'm going to put a 3 on this one here. Okay. So if you are watching and you see record number 3, 3 right now does not have a name. So if you're looking at 3, try to give me a name for it. Okay. I know it's not the 3rd record that I did. That was really like the status of what I was doing them on, but yeah. I think I'm gonna do another anger record here. This was definitely from the angry phase, the grieving angry phase, and this was more of I can't even think of what I did. Was it kind of like a balloon spin? I think it was a balloon spin. Monoscape? I like that actually. Or Dorian, are you talking about this one or the last one? Monoscape? This? I'm gonna keep talking about this one, and maybe this is Monoscape because this is kind of a mono colored. Oh, number 3, Monoscape. Okay, we're going back to number 3. Okay, Monoscape. Monoscape. I like it actually. Monoscape. 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 Okay, I'll write that down. All right, we're gonna write down Monoscape. So this is why I like you guys. You're fun and able to help with this stuff. So back to this guy. Um, this was what I did was I put everything on and then blew it out, spun it out, and that's why it's kind of exploded like this here. It's more of an explosion type of piece. And like I said, this was a bit of the anger, grief time in November. Maybe even December. One thing that kind of got me, this could have been December actually. One thing that kind of got me this past year was listening to Christmas music in November, like first week of November. I think that put me into a horrible mood. Um, trying to remember like what exactly was going on when I made this piece here. It's dark during that time period, life. And when we get into these dark periods, it's really good. There's a lot of things that we can do. Obviously, speaking with people first and foremost on the list. Well, I shouldn't say first and foremost, but very high on the list. I did that actually during the time period there. I found a gentleman I was able to speak with on a consistent basis, and it was helpful. Really helpful, during that time. Maybe not perfect, and it's definitely left me with some questions afterwards and some things to work on. And it's still a process, but definitely something to do. So if you do find yourself in that sort of situation, don't be afraid to speak, and don't be afraid to create. Also, I was watching an artist talk actually before doing this, and it got into saying how your art still matters, even if it's not really seen by a lot of people, even if it's not big gallery and big money or whatever. um Very abstract Jimi Hendrix in there. Yeah, I can see like an Electric Ladyland. I'm just gonna go with that. Yeah, even though it says fat. um Jimmy's estate might sue me for that name, but Electric Ladyland. Electric Ladyland Blues. Electric Ladyland Blues. Because it's really red. Even there's some blue in here. There's some no looks of blue. Electric Ladyland Blues. Yeah, I like that. Um, I'm a little like I don't know which one to show you next because there's so many and they're all so good. They are just so good. I'll show you this one next. This one's kind of fun. Number 3 is beautiful. I might need to snag and hang it next to your other one. Hit me up, Rosemary. Yeah, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to get that over to you. Bold as heart. Nice. This is a different one. Um, this here is a blue piece. This here piece, Living in Barbara McNair. I'd have to look and see again when exactly I painted this. And I should show you guys. I have like the last 3 that I painted here. I should show you those after I finish with these here. Love. Yeah, I do love this. Um, so, what was I thinking? Oh, I get to these points where I just want to have bright and vibrant colors, or just, and even if they are softer colors, these are more of your cooler colors, your blues and greens. You get some yellows in here also, versus red. This is very warm. Caliente. This is more frio. Yeah, I do get these points where I just want to have like brightness and vibrancy and softness and just peace. Like lily filled peace. There's so much doom, gloom, chaos in the world right now. I just want to have kind of peace and quiet. And that's really like what I like doing with my art here. Um, for me, a lot of Celestial Kiss. I like that. A lot of what I'm doing whenever I make art, I do this at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, when the sun's coming up, and or just before. I didn't do any this morning. Um, Considering possibility of painting maybe later this evening before bed. I'm gonna actually go downstairs and make some spaghetti here in a bit. Celestial Kiss. I'm gonna write this down first. Yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs and make some spaghetti here in a bit. For a meal and get some other things together. Before Monday. Might do some painting later, and like I mentioned, there's a couple things I need to put in the stories. But a lot of this becomes like this pre-early morning sort of ritual for me, where doing these pieces. I was watching another video today on a 0 hour where for people when you do have issues with just getting up, getting going, kind of instead of getting sucked into the phone, which we'll do at times, finding other things to do. And for this person, their idea was 0 hour, having some craft things even close to bed. Willie, hi, it's so nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you. I gotta stop doing that. Thank you so much for tuning in, Willie. Are you going to the reunion? If you're in my class reunion and you're going, hit me up in the comments. Or if you're not going, hit me up in the comments. You didn't know we were having a class reunion, hit me up in the comments. I'm not sure. I'm probably not, but I like to leave that door open. Because it is people that and it kind of just becomes that sort of thing. Right now, I know a lot of us, myself included, have been very standoffish on people, especially based on situation outside. And as much as I want to be like, yeah, these are people that I've known forever. So, um, outside of the family members, these are your family. So, yeah, you have to figure out, that forgiveness becomes something that is internal, really. Um, we forgive not for the other, but for self. It's whatever I want to say, including God. But enough about that. This was another swing piece. Karine, is that how you say it? Karine? You'll correct me there. But yes, thank you for tuning in, my love. Or, well, my lovely friend, Karine. If you have not checked out her website, I have an interview on there. There's a link in my description box to get to that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Forgiveness. Yeah, I like the name Forgive. And if you're just tuning in, what we're doing is we are naming pieces here. We're just going to talk until a name comes to me or a name comes to you. So if a name does come to you, spit it out in the comments. Or if something comes to me, I'm just going to write it down. I'm going to write down forgiveness on this. Um, just the name that kind of came to me while I was, snapshot of forgiveness. Snapshot of forgiveness. I kind of like that. Yeah, snapshot of forgiveness. Because it's a swing method. I didn't get into a lot of swings. I actually am going to get a new chain for the swing or get a new swing type of thing. Basically, I did enjoy it. Um, Something I can really play around with a lot more. Aunt Virginia, thank you for tuning in. Much love to you. Hope all is well. I need to get one of these on your walls. So let me know in the comments what you like, and I'll just send it to you. Rex, I want to send you a canvas. Family gets canvases. And maybe we'll do some canvases, on the next one. If you're just tuning in again, we are playing Name the Painting. This is where I've been slacking about naming my paintings. So I go to you, my friends and family, here on Facebook, and you guys help me name my paintings. This here is another swirl. For the swirl method, you can really see it on this one here. I added all my paints. I started in here. I'm moving my swirl technique out to where it just comes, spin it out a little bit to where it gets some space on there. I was doing these October, November, December. This may have actually been an October piece. October, I was actually a bit happier. Um, I see that, with the next record up, or next two records, I should say. Actually a bit happier in October. Um, than I've had been in a long time, really. But it's a really good piece here. Um, I don't really know of a name though. If you have any name ideas, we'll put them in the comments. I will definitely take your name suggestions, name ideas. Today, I'm going to put a sticker on the back of this guy here. Old Sammy D. I'm going to put a sticker on the back of this one. And yeah, if you have any name suggestions, let me know in the comments what you think. I'm going to write 5 on this. Yeah, I'm going to write 5 on this one here. And a small pen. I don't know if you can see, I have a little 5 up there. So if you have an idea for 5, let me know in the comments. 5 is a swirl. A little swirl design. I am open to ideas for name suggestions for 5, so let me know in the comments what you think. I'm not even sure if I want to ask for a name for this one. Like I had an idea actually. I saw a face here. Well, is that one or is it the other one? No, that was that one. Yeah. It's like a face kind of thing here. I don't even. That was definitely made in November. A lot of these pieces are from November, December, maybe a couple Januaries. In fact, the next one that we're going to get into, I believe, is in January. Yeah, because I wanted to get all the ones that I could get done before moving. I moved into this apartment in February. So there's going to be a couple that I'll show you here that are from like late February, March, just at the end. But I want to say this one is November. I want to say this is November and this is December. Something in me is saying this is December. So you're November. I kind of want to call it like American Anger, you know? Or maybe that one should be American Anger and this one should just be punching Nazis in the face. I don't know. Yeah, I said it. Face punching. I don't know. It's anger. Yeah, it's just anger really comes up when I think of this piece. I'm gonna write 6 on here. Maybe I call it 66666666666. You know, like repeating sixes or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even like looking at it. But thing is, like, it was kind of weird for me. Um, Often the ones that I don't like looking at are the ones that people are like, "Wow, I really like that. I'm gonna buy it." If you flip it upside down, almost like you're looking at a continent, planet from space, like this. If you look it upside down, almost like you're looking at a continent from space. Yeah, like like the southern hemisphere or something like that. Or okay, or like I kind of get yeah, angry planet, angry planet, yeah, angry planet, the red planet, yeah, like a Mars, yeah, like Mars, okay, but Earth, because it is kind of, I mean, it's Earth, angry Earth, um, yeah, angry Earth, angry guy. I'm gonna go with that angry Earth, kinda, yeah, angry Earth. There's a lot of space here if I want to change or want to add to it. Angry Earth, crying over the loss of natural resources. Because when you really think about it, it's like a lot of natural resources that we lose making these things. This was 5, by the way. It also kind of looks like a face is blowing out smoke. There may or may not have been cannabis consumed during the making of these paintings. Um, Angry cannabis user? I don't know. Think of something. So we still have 4 that we need to name, and 5 that we kind of have angry earth on. And we have 2 more, really, that are going to be. We'll do this one first, because I really do like the last one. The last one's like the creme de la creme. The last one I love, actually. The last one's like my last one, I think, from January. And I do want to show you guys also, I have some, like I said, I have some, I'm going to have to get up to get to them just because of where they're at. But my latest pieces that I did here, the vinyls aren't even covered. I have a couple of canvases also, including some canvases that the kitty did for me. Meow, meow. She's sleeping. I know, and I said meow, it kind of woke her up. So, I have like a serpent vibe with this, like sneaky serpent. This is another one that I did the swirl on. Kind of like with number 4 over here, named. Swirls out, but there it also. I just no, we're not finished. Yeah, got a bunch of likes and loves there. So this is a swirl piece. Am I going to be joined by a kitty? Is that what you're coming to do? You're coming to join me? Meow, meow, meow. We have a special guest, everyone. It's Boots. Boots has come to join us, yes. Boots, what do you think we should name this piece? Meow. What do you think? Hmm? What do you think, huh? Do you have a suggestion on what we should name this piece? This could be a face blowing out smoke. Like I said, it has a real serpent vibe to it. I know, we could call the other one Angry Earth Punching Nazis, but stop it. Okay, fascist. Punching fascist. Yeah, punch fascist. Don't punch anyone. Please don't. No punching. That's very mean, very bad. Don't do that. Make love, not war. Or whatever the kids say. I do like the snake. See, like the little snake eyes right here. I know, right? Meow. She has no idea what we want to call this. A whale. A whale. A whale. Oh well, if you're joining us, there's something strangely sexual about this one. Sexual whale? Sexual whale? Um, Phallic whale? I don't know. Whale? It's whale big? I don't know. Help me out. If you have any name suggestions, throw them in the chat, throw them in the comments. I think I'm going to put a number 7 on that one there. Old Columbia record. Okay. Yeah, if you have a suggestion for number 7 that we found, kind of looks like a whale, a sexual whale, but I don't really know if I want to call it sexual whale. Not sure if a gallery is going to want to hang up sexual whale. I don't know if I can have somebody take home sexual whale and feel comfortable with them putting it on their walls. But if they have kids and you got to explain, like, mommy, mommy, Why does it say sexual whale? No. Okay. Um. Well, I don't know why it says sexual whale, little one. Mommy, what does sexual whale mean? Yeah, don't have that conversation. So, let's not call it that. Let's think of two different thoughts. Two different thoughts. Okay, maybe the other one was supposed to be a whale, and this one's just sexual. Okay. But yeah, whatever you. If you have a name suggestion, sexual or not, I guess. Am I opening myself up by saying I will take sexual name suggestions? Meow. Yeah, think of a name, put it in the chat. See, I see a snake, but some of y'all might see something different. You know, I'm just going to set that one there. This is the last one that we have to name. If you're just tuning in, we're playing Name That Record, which is where I have a bunch of records that I haven't named yet because, yeah. Oops, sorry. So, where are you? Name records with Boots and I, and this is the last one we have to name. This is like probably my favorite. This one here I did in late January, I want to say, and went back to my bloom technique. If you're unfamiliar, I take the paints, put them down, use a blow dryer, actually, to blow them out, and then I'll spin them out a little bit just to cover the surface. Um, I have some up here actually that I'd love to show you guys at some point. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get up and show you guys the new pieces, like the ones that she did, just because she's in my lap now, and maybe I'll just have to do that as a separate thing. But yeah, this one here is gonna need a name. We're gonna put 8 on that. If you have a name for 8, I think it's 5, 6, 7, and 8 that still need name. Aunt Lisa, hi, so nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I guess now we're kind of because I tuned into yours, you've tuned into mine. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate, and thank you for the birthday calls. I appreciate those. Um, if you're just tuning in, we are playing the game of Name This Painting. This is where I've been kind of slacking off, guys. I'll admit, I haven't been really on top form lately. Hi, Grandma. Oh, such a blessing. I haven't really been in top form, so I haven't been naming all my records and getting them out. I know I put out the post last month saying that this was the spring collection. I never got around to naming the spring collection, so we've been here naming the spring collection of records. New paintings here for everyone. I have some which I will flip back through just so that we all have a good look of them here. And joining me for this, of course, is Miss Boots. As long as I am quiet and still, she will sit here and make biscuits in my lap, which is the coolest thing in the world. Any of you own a cat or rescued a cat or been around cats, you know that if you can convince them to make biscuits in your lap, you have reached like nirvana. If you can get them to actually lay on your chest and make biscuits, that's just. In fact, so I'm flipping back through these. Hi, everyone. Just to recap, if you can get a cat to lay on your chest and make biscuits, that is a celestial kiss. Celestial kiss is going to be available. I need to actually take some photos of these, put them onto website, and make some more clothing out of them. I know I've been kind of slacking on the clothing game. Josh, so nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So Celestial Kiss. Monoscape. Make sure that looks like an M and not a H. That was about like homoscape, which wouldn't be bad either, but monoscape. Monoscape. And I want to thank Dorian for helping out with a lot of these names here. If any of you, if you have any name suggestions, if you see one, you're like, no, call it this instead, even, leave it in the chat. This is Monoscape here. For those tuning in, we're playing Name My Record, Name My Artwork. This is My Blue Heaven. I believe this one I actually got from Mark. As far as the name goes, My Blue Heaven. It gives a sea effect, psychedelic sea type of thing. I was supposed to come back to that name. Speaking of psychedelic sea, I'll be coming back to that one here shortly. If I don't already have a psychedelic sea, but My Blue Heaven, my psychedelic blue heaven, maybe. Irish Spring. Maybe this becomes a psychedelic sea. Irish psychedelic sea. I don't know. Irish Spring is what I have on here. This is actually number 2. If you have a better name for this, you can say I wrote it in pen. If you have a better name, leave it in the comments for Irish Spring or number 2. Irish Spring was legit my childhood soap. Right now, I'm on Dr. Bronner's. I get the different scents of those. I think I actually opened up the Citrus Fresh, which is cool. Like, I love citrus. Apparently, cats are not big on citrus smells, so I gotta be careful with that. This one was Electric Ladyland Blues. We did the Name My Piece game today. So Electric Ladyland Blues won out for being the name of this piece here. Hopefully everyone's able to hear me, see me, everything. Boots is still making biscuits in my lap. Love her. Hirschbone Exploding Spring. Hirschbone is the goddess of spring. So Hirschbone Exploding Spring. And it's kind of like a double name. Hirschbone Exploding would be more than enough. Spring Exploding. Hirschbone Exploding Spring. Mm-hmm. Meow, meow, meow. Grieving Ring of Fire. It's important that we take care of ourselves during these times, take care of each other during these times, and yeah, Grieving Ring of Fire. Very personal piece for me. I've had some things that I've grieved these past few months, so being able to express that with art and share that with the world is a wonderful thing. Grieving Ring of Fire. Universal Love. As I say, these are pieces are available for anyone wherever they may be. I will do free shipping for you. So around the country, even around the world, we'll work out our price for that and get it shipped over to you. Normally I run these, anywhere between 15, 75, or say 60 to 75. I think we're going to do like 50 on this for the sale. Yeah, hit me up, just whatever you think, whatever you see, whatever you like. I'm going to put backs on them so that they're hangable. And I'll show you one of the old ones, what the backs will look like, possibly, for these. But yeah, hit me up. Did you want them? Universal Love. Snapshot of Forgiveness. I've had to do a lot of forgiving. Hope that, and, one of the big things you have to forgive is yourself. So definitely have to do that lately. These become kind of journal pages for me. So this is just a snapshot of my life and a snapshot of, me forgiving myself, forgiving others, hopefully others forgiving me, snapshot of forgiveness. Yeah. And then I think I have a couple of others that still need names. This one here is number 5. Number 5 still needs a name. I don't have anything on these. If you have a name suggestion, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I am so open to name suggestions, it is not even funny. So leave me your name suggestions in the comments. I would love to have them. Number 5 needs a name. Number 5 needs a name. Okay, it's a swirl technique. Place all the paints on here. I use my cell activating paint to do like a swirl around. I'm gonna spin it out to open it up a little bit. I have a swirl. This one kind of looked like an angry earth face blowing smoke. I think I wrote angry earth on one side. It's actually number 6. I don't really know if I like the name angry earth. I do like blowing smoke, and blowing smoke. Might actually. I'm right, blowing smoke. I don't know. I might end up changing that at some point. I wrote blowing smoke and angry earth on it, and number 6. So if you have a better name suggestion, great. If not, then we'll go with one of those two. We are playing the name my stuff day, name my paintings day. This is number 7 right here. Number 7 does not have a name, though I do see a snake involved in this. Like snake in the grass, snake in the house, snake, 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 snake. Snake, 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 snake. Oh, like snakes, like 7 snakes. Yeah, 7 snakes. That's actually not bad. 7 snakes. The 7 snakes. Oh, fake twin! It's so nice to see you. Oh, I just scared the cat away. Twin, it's so nice to see you. Thanks for visiting. 7 snakes. I kind of like that. I'm gonna write that down. 7 snakes. Seven snakes. Much love, Twin. Twin, if you're just tuning in, we are naming vinyls. So happy I was able to share one with you. This is my last one to name here. It does not have a name. This is number 8. And yeah, if you have any name suggestions for these, this is a bloom technique. All of the vinyls, that we have here, I'll take name suggestions on them. I am so happy to ship these out to you. They're ready to rock and roll with you right now. So hit me up if you'd like one of these for your walls. As I say, number 8 does not have a name on it right now. I wonder if I can get this to kind of stay up. I wonder if I do this, maybe. Because I want to try to do one other thing here. I want to show off something else that I have over here. I'm just going to show a little bit of a couple other things, and then I'm going to let you guys get on with your Sunday because I want to get on with my food. Get my grub on, yeah. It's Sunday grub day, right? Is that what it is? Thanks, Twin. So I got a couple of things I'm going to show you guys. Before we get out of here today, remember number 8, if you want to let me know of a name for it. These are 2 blocks here, little canvas blocks that I just completed. I'll be doing some more of these kind of things here. Do them individual or together. Kind of a fire and ice type of thing. It's kind of what I'm thinking with this here. Actually, I think I had them like this originally when I painted them. The Paradox video, which actually, this might just be like Paradox 1 and 2. Let's call them Paradox. Paradox Warm and Paradox Cool. I'm just gonna quick sign them. Paradox Warm and Paradox Cool available if you want them. I know I don't really put the canvases out that often, but you know, the next live I think I'm gonna show you guys some canvases that'll be available. So a couple of things, like I said, before we leave. Use the records before I put the covers on. They come out like this. You may have seen this video. I don't know if you've seen this one here yet, but you know, we'll see what happens with them. I'm not going to offer these just yet, just because I haven't put any sort of covering on there. And when I do put the resin covering on, there's a risk that I won't get it back. Like there's a risk that the resin doesn't take or whatever. So I don't like to offer them in this state just yet. I could just, you know, varnish coat them and ship them as is also. And let me know, you know, if you would rather have your vinyls shipped just the varnish coat. Normally when I do the canvases, at least, you know, when I'm shipping out a canvas for people, I'll do a varnish coat on those. Which, speaking of canvases, something that I've been putting off for a while, but this here, you're going to see this. I think one of these was like first one 20 or first one in a new studio. Like this was first in a new studio, and this was first round canvas. Because normally, you know, I do round vinyls, and something was like, you should really do one of these on a canvas. And I had a friend who donated some canvases to me. So when I reset up the studio space, I was able to try this out, and I loved it. So I'm going to varnish this up and put it somewhere. And if you'd like this here, actually, let me know. I'll do a special price on this one here also for you. Yeah, pretty dope. I'll do a special price on this one here also for you, and we'll get this to your home and you'll be able to check it out. And then the last thing I'm going to show you guys, and I almost kind of feel a little bit meow about it, but my friend who was with me earlier today, Boots, I had her do some paintings. We taped up the back of them because the paintings that I had her work on, these canvases here, these were actually some damaged canvases that I had. You know, and a lot of times when like you damage canvas, you know, your choices are, Jamie, hi, so great to see you. Much love to you, Jamie. I may or may not see you next month for a reunion. I'm still trying to decide on that, work some things out. Got a lot going on, honestly. You can back up the live feed or message me about it, whatever. But as I was saying, normally when you damage a canvas, there's not really a lot you can do with it. You can cut it and try to use it to repair another damaged canvas. Whatever. So I decided that I was going to just tape it back and do some more repair work and then have Kitty work on it. So here's Kitty number one. And there's actually, I will miss you, Boo. Wait. I miss you too. You're actually worth trying to work all of that out. But this is Kitty number one right here, and the full lengths are slowly going up on the YouTube channel. You may have actually seen the short of this one here just recently, but this is the finished product from Kitty. It's kind of funny what I had to do to get her to paint these. This is Kitty number two. I don't think I taped this one, actually. I think I just put the plastic on. Yeah, I think I just put the plastic on this one because it doesn't have any rips. But, yeah, it's Kitty number two. This is actually just like a repaint that I had her do. And I put it inside of a plastic thing to deal with. So it's probably more of the plastic than her. But I may actually come back and have her just kind of paw print these. Let me know what you think about that also. Just having like little kitty paw prints. Maybe I'd re-plastic on the back and re-plastic here and do paw prints of these. And then this is the last one here. And you can see like where I did some tape on the back of this here. especially right in this area. And like, if you look here closely, you can see where it's kind of ripped here. That's why I put the tape there. Um, this is kind of hold it, but this is the big one that I did in the black canvas for her, and I know it's covering my face, but yeah, my cat did these. I'm not sure if that means that my cat's a better artist than I am. But yeah, I can say that my cat painted these canvases for us here, and she did really good with them, and yeah. So, and you can try to get an idea of sizing also when you're doing like these. Um, yeah, you get some ideas for sizes and shapes and all that. So, yeah, check them out. I'm gonna have plenty more where these come from. If you have any ideas, set tape back, and if they're really damaged. And yeah, like I said before, if you have any ideas, this guy here needs a name. This is why we were originally here, trying to name some of these pieces. So does well, actually, we gave you a name. We gave you a name. This guy needs a name. Yeah, this guy needs a name here. So we still have 5 and 8 that are nameless. Nothing on them. Some of the others, I think 6. I have a couple of name ideas, but I'll take one for this here also. These two especially, though, need names. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I had like a little thing there. Thank you, Jamie. I love you. Thank you for the comment. Thank you all for tuning in. I just wanted to, just kind of come on and say goodbye to everyone. Thank everyone for tuning in today. If there's something that you saw that you liked, feel free to hit me up. I'll be more than happy to share it with you. As I said, I do have a couple here. This one guy here is number 5. It needs a name. This one here is number 8. Also needs a name. And I have a lot of others that, just could use a home. So give this art a home. And, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your likes, your comments, your shares, your positivity over the years. Thank everyone who helped out with name suggestions on these pieces today. Thank you everyone for tuning in, for your comments. Just thank you for being you. And, something I always say at the end of my videos is that light will break through darkness. So whatever's going on, and especially whatever's going on in your world, whatever's going on in your life, and I say this stuff, I have to say it to myself also. So whatever's going on in my life, I have to remind myself of this, So whatever's going on in your life, I'll remind you of it also. Light will break through darkness. So keep up, and remember, you got this. Much love to you all, and I'll talk to you again soon. Peace.